Got up in the morning, took a shot, it's a rock. And girl, you left my stomach in a knot. Took my lighter and you burned the bridge. Thought you was a writer, no, you're just an idol. You got me feeling like Big Sean in this 5, 4, 3, 2. I deserve a minute, wait a minute. Gotta get up and over, regain my composure. No longer my lover, finally finished and you did it. Girl, you really showed me, think with your heart, don't think with your body, clever. Sorry not sorry, sorry not Justin Timberlake, write me a river. Lately I be having conversations with myself cause I feel like I have nobody to talk to. I be having conversations with myself cause I feel like I have nobody to turn to. Everything was green light, now we got the red. Could've had somebody else, chose you instead. I be having conversations with myself cause I feel like I have nobody to talk to. You tried to convince me it was all in my head, and I felt like it's not you, it's me instead. And I wanted to rock with you, roll with you. Said you was my baby girl, then you left me too. Everything was kosher, perfect like a poster. Then I got word that you wanna leave a picture. Off with somebody else, off with the jerk. With the shame on me, I really thought that it could work. Off with somebody else, off with the loser. Shame on me, I really thought we had a... Lately I be having conversations with myself cause I feel like I have nobody to talk to. I be having conversations with myself cause I feel like I have nobody to turn to. Everything was green light, now we got the red. Could've had somebody else, chose you instead. I be having conversations with myself cause I feel like I have nobody to talk to. Everything was green light, now we got the red. Could've had somebody else, chose you instead.
Yes, global greetings, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Topics here on Real Entertainment Network. It is a pleasure and an honor to be with you on this platform on this beautiful Tuesday evening as things wind down here on the island of Nevis, where Culturama is concerned. And as for here in the Federation, some other very serious festivities are about to, I shouldn't say festivities, but celebrations about to take place as we should be having, I think already, the visit of the son of Marcus Garvey, who should be in our presence and should be hosting a number of events. Um, I am hopeful that it is not only the luncheon that is organized for the government officials and Navy, that we should get an opportunity to have an audience with him in a more general perspective. Um, but, that being said, I want to say good evening, Oli. I want to say good evening, Layamiga. I want to say good evening to the entire Eastern Caribbean. I want to say good evening to those who are locked in wherever you are around the world. Could be Canada, America, China, Russia, Spain, Singapore, Afghanistan, Dubai. It's a pleasure to have you locked in here with us. And feel free to share, like, subscribe, check out our Twitch channel and also our YouTube channel. Yes, we want you to go over to the YouTube platform and subscribe, and be sure to be a part of this edition and every edition of the Topics and all of the other programs that are aired on Real Entertainment Network. With that said, I want to say a special good evening to my co-host, Yahsonn Bankie Shabazz. And, as you see, in the midst of everything, we also keep going, like the real farmers we are. Farmers and the plants don't take a day off, and so, we just keep going. So, Shabazz, greetings.
Greetings, Yahsonn, and greetings to the listening audience and viewing audience. Greatly appreciate you guys tuning in on another Tuesday for the topics. We have a lot of different stuff to talk about this evening. As Yahsonn mentioned, it's the last day of the festive season, so what left of it. So it's a lot to be talked about and stuff like that. So good evening to the folks in Oli and Liamega. Greatly appreciate you guys tuning in. Also the folks in neighboring islands, Sabre, Statia, St. Martin, St. Bart's, the US Virgin Islands, and the BVI. Not forgetting the folks over in Montserrat, Antigua, and Barbuda also. Antigua also having the final day today for this carnival. Also the folks over in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, also up to Grenada and Dominica, and wherever you're at in the Leeward and Windward Island. Greatly appreciate you guys tuning in. If you're a first-time listener, I mean, it's the topics. We have different topics, which is regional, local, and international. Also, good evening to the folks in North America, from the Florida Keys straight up to Maine, Chicago, Atlanta, Texas, Houston, the whole US, and also up in Canada, and the folks over Europe, England, Southern Africa, and Asia. Greatly appreciate you guys tuning in. It's different time zones, so whatever is appropriate, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for tuning in. Remember to share the link and let everyone know there's a lot to discuss about. We have a few topics, definitely Culturama and the revamping of Culturama and the embarrassment of what has just taken place. I think this is going on in the Guinness Book of Record when it comes to the worst Culturama ever. I mean, if you have 50,000 people in St. Kitts Nevis and the majority are complaining, I mean, everybody can be wrong. So it shows somebody have dropped the ball big time. So we definitely have to regroup and revamp and come again. Well, we'll get into that. Yahsonn, good evening, and how is everything?
Yeah, well, I'm giving thanks. It's a festive season, but for me, one of the first things that I want to address, right, is um, it's along the festive season, and I'm going to tie it into the festive season, but it's also in collaboration with the agricultural sector, and I am very much disappointed in the amount of millions of dollars that's lying on the ground in terms of mangoes that's being just literally like wasted. Um, and I feel something more could have been done or could be done and should be done in terms of marrying mango. I don't know if maybe every year they don't really come around the same time, but even so, they do come around. Maybe if it's before, um, we have to find a way to, you know, extract the pulp, get the juice, get whatever it is that's needed to make the other value
Back
added
up.
products that we
I have to
yes,
interject. Back up. Find a way to do
yes.
what? Extract the pulp. I tell you, there's a pulp machine 4 feet high, 5 feet high over in agro processing. What are you talking about? You forget you guys Alzheimer's now? What are you talking about? You said they said about pulp. Go see what about pulp? Did you went to see what the
No,
pulp in?
I didn't know.
Huh?
I didn't get to go into video pulping. I
Well,
didn't get to go
tomorrow,
into.
make sure the week done so we can report. Cause you still got Indian castle, so we can report Friday and come back good. Cause so you can see the machine. Cause
Okay,
when you see the machine itself, so you have an idea what's going on. So you don't. I'm just here talking. So I want to
no,
go
no,
and
no,
to see the
no,
cane
no.
machine.
Okay, what I'm saying, Banky, yes,
Yes.
yes, yes, they are pulping. Should be pulping, right?
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, it is not even close enough to compare with what is still wasted and on the ground, and is, I mean, right now, pigs cutting style of mango, pig eating so much mango right now, right? That when you give pig mango, pig ain't want to eat mango right now, and this like pig is used as a means of getting rid of the excess mango as we speak, right? So what I'm saying is, I think when I went to the agro processing side of things, they were specific in certain varieties of mangoes that they were looking for, right? So I think they had, I think it's about 4 different varieties that they were asking for, or they would take from persons if you were to bring in those. But
Like what? What
there
are
were,
those?
I know Amrapali was one, Graham, um, Julie, and I don't remember what the 4th one
What
was.
Graham?
Graham was one. Yeah, Graham was one. Julie, Amrapali, and as I said, I don't remember what the 4th one was. But
I got
for
you.
sure, right? They were telling me though that they're not accepting what we call the, I don't even want to call the word, because they find that they're very disrespectful to the
Agmango?
mango, because
Agmango? Which is
no,
what? Lang mango and those?
no, bastard Polly.
Round ball?
They're not
That's one of
bastard
the best
Polly.
mango on the island. That's one of the best mango on the
That's what I'm
island.
saying. I find it
That's one of the
being
best mango
very
on the island, brethren.
call it bastard, as a matter of fact. My thing is very disrespectful. They should call it sexy mango or something like that. You know, because it's a
All right.
very good mango, but they were not accepting
Beautiful
it. So
mango.
one of the things I'm thinking, right, is okay, yes, you may have a market for specific varieties of mango. You might be seeking to get mangoes to appeal to that market. Maybe, it is the request of maybe hotels or maybe restaurants or whatever the case may be. But find a way still to get rid of, make it sound bad, but make use or process the other type of mangoes to, like, find a way, say, hey, bring in all that you can, and we will find a way to deal with this. Because I'm sure companies out there, maybe places around the world, that might not have a problem with getting mixed pulp. You call them mixed variety pulp,
Yahsonn,
multi-mix pulp. Yes.
the problem with the agro processing is that it's just like Indian Castle. There's a change of management. The person who is well trained in these things and who would have the freezer stuck up to the roof left the same way. Because of the same simply they don't want to give up. She's doing the work, but she's trained, qualified, but yet in have a degree. So that's the excuse again. The premier and the minister and everybody else want to use. So she walk away. You see? So everybody walk the same thing. The next person over who was over in propagation, who was trained by the gentleman who Mills, what his name again? Was one of the best grafters in propagation. Benno. Yes, Benno. Okay? She walk away again. I walk away again. All those who have all the skill set and training, you see the minister are filling all sector our portfolio, agriculture, culture, many, you understand? But he not gonna wait till I get full pay. That's what we're talking about. You understand? Madness, hypocrisy. The minister, everybody blend, nobody could admit what's going on right now, people can see the wastage. I want you to visit, and when you visit, you take you record the machine also, so you could show the people the machine. You see? Because if you ain't got freeze up the full of mango pulp, you ain't saying nothing in my virgin. Because I spend the most time over in agro processing, also down at the abattoir, also small farm. I spend time in all the sectors then, because that's how I stay. So nobody can say me no know me say. Me and all the workers have a good relationship. I have this man who is working in the Department of Agriculture. If one department fail, we all fail. But there are other people who don't think like that. They don't care about the other sectors. I don't think like so. I was not in the competition with the other young extension officers. My thing is to pass our knowledge, but within the department, own click. You understand? Me no click. We are working together. That is how I see things. And that is how the machine works. When everybody work together, everybody wins. But some people is about them and the ego and whatever. So now when certain people are around, you see, pure failures. Pure failures. And it's gonna happen. You understand? I mean, right now, next year is the last for February. I mean, for Gary Griffith at the Abattoir. Right now they're getting somebody to understudy him. Too late. To study Gary, you need the next 2 years, year and a half, the latest, to get the skill set with the man they have. You dig? So they'll have to give Gary a contract if you choose to take it or not. Otherwise, they don't have to shut down there, but they can't replace Gary. That's just reality. I did trading under Gary. The thing get about to do 2 trillion and the Gary. Ain't nobody make I can put me got more skill set than Gary within the whole Caribbean, my brethren. You understand? Nobody. And they don't want to respect the man. The minister is and the cabinet are the problem. Them is the problem. The commander in chief is the problem. Because he will cabinet a fail and he praise them still. So which I was told by a PS, the government, the civil service promote failures. And that is the reality I was told by a PS. When you come in and start to do your work, people around you vex with you because they not do no work, so you make it look better. So everybody vex with me. If you say minister fail, minister tell people, if I know you stop me, come ask me in the car, so now stop my vehicle or answer my phone. That what he tell people. No, and he vex with me, you know, for his failures. You know, see the man had no gun. How you want to vex with me and you get paid to do your work? And you handpick everybody else. Agriculture Services Department, agriculture, everywhere, they want to fail. So what you going to see with about Culturama?
Okay,
We're going to see about Indian cast. It's just
what I was thinking, right, and what I was saying, especially even in tying it with Culturama, because what I'm saying, even if they were supposed to have that excess pulp, right, with knowing that you're having this big festival coming in, and it's a follow up to the mango festival that you would have had recently, and you know that all these mango is going to be in. So then you use that as a way now to continue the promotion of these mango, whether it's beverages, whether it's cakes, whether it's pastries, whether it's ice cream, whether it's ice pop, all of these things during the Culturama time, so that even the young people who might not necessarily want to eat a mango like that because they would, it's too messy or whatever it is, you know what I mean?
yes.
Right? But at least they might be willing to try the ice cream. They might be willing to try an ice pop. They might be willing to try a mango roll-up.
The sherbet.
But,
Once
you know what I
once
mean?
it's frozen, you just put in the and you get the sherbet right there. You ain't gonna do nothing to it.
Summer. Exactly, and it's summer, you know what I mean? So you're in the Caribbean and you get some nice mango sherbet, you know what I mean? Like, so in terms of connecting these marketing, you know, ideas and strategies and seeing that it's the same minister as well for both, you know, this should have been as they would say, a no-brainer, so to speak, you know. But it's suggestions for the future, and it would also help to boost even creating revenue opportunities for the backyard gardeners, you know, because okay, in Nevis, not I can't even say technically, in reality, there is no mango orchard. So anybody who have mangoes is either in their personal yard on their property, or they grow wild somewhere on the pasture side, or in the mountain side, or in the gut side, right? So if you're supposed to continue to work on a program like that, where you say, hey, look, when mango is in, we're gonna seek to take in as much as possible. We're not going to prejudice. Yes, we may want certain specific, so we could ask for certain specific varieties because we may have a demand for these varieties. But we have to find a way to, even if it is not at the full cost, even if it's like, okay, for those that you have specific uses for, you might give $1 a pound or $1 for, but then for those that you might not need, you might just give 50 cents, right? That is better than nothing at all, you know. And you know, that could also help to create opportunities for not just the agro processing doing this, you know. So hoping people not thinking that, oh, we're burden the agro processing with all of this making of products and so
burden
on.
work them work. When a burden come in, I work them work. We got 10 people work out this so. They not do nothing. Put to work and do on the machine all week. What are you talking about for months?
No, but I also want to make it clear too that in terms of the agro processing facility, from what I understand, it is open also for processors to access
For the
it
general
and
public
go
to
and do.
use.
Right. So
Of
I
course.
want to put that as well, so that that's what I'm saying. That's what I was thinking in terms of burdening them, not necessarily burdening them, but you're right. That it shouldn't be a burden for them anyway. But
Yes.
just to let people know still that, okay, if you're into making whatever it is that, and your
Of
market
course.
or your demand has increased, then you can now use the facility to meet that increased demand that you need to
Yes.
supply and so on, right? So I'm looking at all of the different avenues still to ensure that whatever the raw material is and that they're taking it in, that it can be fully utilized. And then the next step from there now would be for marketing now to seek to find ways and means of getting rid of the raw mango
The
itself.
market there,
And
the
also
market there already. The market there
value
already.
added.
There are people in Anguilla want 1,000 pound of mango. There are people in Smarty want mango. We're not gonna problem is is getting the mango there. There is not a problem with selling mango in a Virgin. The people will call me and tell me, boy, I want 2,000 pound of mango. What are you talking about? The department knows these things. You understand? It's not they don't know. They know Virgin. The problem is not, you understand, everything is management system, my Virgin. This human failure. That is our problem. Human failures. That's why we promote mediocrity. You see what I mean? I hold myself responsible for when I deal with something, you know. So if I do something wrong, who am I gonna blame? Me make excuse and blame Yahsonn. It's me if I'm not disciplined. You see, that's watch it. They could check my stats. My stats is there, you know. And 1 me get when they grade me, you know. One is excellence in the civil. You see what I mean? 1. And then and people don't give people 1. You see? 1. Not 2, 1. 1 is excellent. Well, who get 1 so? Well, that will put on paper, the evidence is there. So if you got to deal with excellence, and then people get it doing the same thing, not just me, other people do it within the department. You should give excellence, and yet you still want to give them extra incentives. What do you think people going to Virgin? People going to leave. The slavery time is over. So those who are put in position to disrespect people not tolerate them crap there when them themselves can't do the work. So when those who doing the work leave, it's going to show. You see, I don't tell the minister, I going to sit back and eat my popcorn, but I eat popcorn. Me sip pan tea. You see? Me sipping pan tea, garlic tea, and watching the movie and his failures. Because just what telling me in his office, when he called me Indian half me, same position, they want to give me over a year. You understand? From my experience, my Virgin, keep your paperworks. Otherwise, I walk away. Yeah. I don't bow my Virgin.
Okay.
I don't, ain't nobody gonna take down when I own me. Then I ain't gonna walk. And other people in the department stand up to the system and move away. So propagation failing, agro-processing failing, and a lot more gonna fail. And they can't fail with this kind of mentality that have to do it. They don't want to reward them. You see? I want to see all those who are failing the department if the minister and his cabinet gonna pay the management them who fail within the agricultural sector and other department. You see, because they're gonna do it because they're my friends and in the same alliance. Doesn't bother me, you see, but the people could see. The evidence is there. The same person who don't know I'm paying agriculture in propagation. When agriculture opened, they come. They had to come the same lady to do all the grafting. All the grafting that to call her back to do, nobody could do she work. You see? And she come and help them. They say, your God bless the dead. You see? It's a lot of sorry for them. But then I'm sorry for you. You see? You gotta stand firm, my Virgin. No, nobody use you. Leave them. Otherwise, you'll not have no tree to sell for agriculture openly. Minister not talk about that though. You see? Miss Vifos, as she grab all the tree, everything. And they knock out the lady and she still come back and let them in the vomit and help them out. They can't make up these things. You see? Can't make it up, Yahsonn. The minister is just a liar. He's a Pinocchio. That's the minister. He's a Pinocchio. He knows it'll get longer and longer and longer. And also he fought here so he can't walk. Because he's a Pinocchio. These are the reality, my Virgin. Because the evidence is right there. The writing is on the wall. Everybody can see these things. I want the department to be successful in my Virgin. And every farmer to be successful and make the money. What is owed to them because they put in the work.
Yes.
You see, that is what I want. I don't like failures, you know. That's why we're speaking about these things.
Exactly. I'm glad that you brought up that point because that is exactly the intent of my observation. For us to be able to do something about what I'm seeing here, because Bankie, I am speaking from just even where I am, my yard's perspective, right?
Of course.
It's just mangoes, like, I mean, literally, you're on mute. Literally,
Every second they drop in. Every second they drop in.
Yeah. And I'm like, I mean, like, wow. And that's just my
Wow.
yard,
Wow.
and you
Well,
drive
agriculture and,
through.
look at the mango tree. Once you want the mango tree, go kids will look at the mango tree and hear you going to say, wow. What are you going to say? You're going to lay down and cry.
Wait, hold on.
Kids will
Wait,
by the
hold
mango
on. You mean, and the
you.
government projects, the government agricultural
Yeah,
sites?
go by Caseberry tomorrow when you swing up, go home. Go by Caseberry by the archery, this or so. By Caseberry there with the Taiwanese was at handover. In the full of Graham, in the full of Bulltone, in the full of grafted mango, you're gonna see in the full. It's still got in the next one the Japan. After the mangoes in the bastard pally. You think your yard look a thing? Oh no, that not your yard a kid up preschool man. Talking about school
Whoa.
prospect went down too. Go prospect went down too, and you're gonna see ice cream mango, Bulltone mango, Felipe, Gary. You understand? Grafted. Go up there, you're going to see. Minister can't name it, you know.
So how about the infusion of some maybe mango tours or something like during the
But
Culturama
the
and
tours,
some so
but
that
the archie supposed to do tours. Wait in the archie, the supposed to do tours. What are you talking about? This ain't nothing new you talk
supposed to
about, your son. Then I'll
supposed
do
to
work.
are they
That's the whole point. It's a culture I'm here, no tours, not one tour. They made the tours at my farm. You see? Made the tours at my farm from people coming from overseas before the season. You see what I'm just showing? And them they got archery right there with all the fruit trees and all the other stuff. Don't even talk about the bell apple and them. All Japan they grow. All. If you got 20 and you know one should be it. So millions of Japan they grow. Brethren,
yeah.
I mean, this is madness for real, you know.
It's
Mad.
not funny. It's not funny at all.
What I
It's
told the
not funny at
director,
all
right?
because
So,
uh,
tell the general public they can come to the orchard and pick all the fruits they want instead of letting it go to waste. Just offer
and
to the
then
general
and then
public.
pay a small stipend whether it's $10, $20, whatever, and say, hey,
Let them pick them, they go to waste. Let them pick them, they might waste. When they pick them, they jump on the ground. Just tell the general public, come here you want. Okay? Pick the bell apple, go along with them, pick the mango them car, we're not gonna use to them. They might jump on the ground. Every day you got chronics, you got Jarrett to go over there, pick them for the pig and something. They can't pick up enough, it's too much for them. They can't deal with it. It's just too much, my brethren.
I laugh because like even in my yard, man, like it's buckets and buckets and buckets and then you pick up
3K,
one set.
you had the 3K. 3K. No, you had a pre-K. You had nothing. You know, wastage. You know, you don't got wastage. Eh? What about me? Over 30 man go to make it a beer. So what we gonna say? Eh? What about moi? You're crying? Me got more than 9 on my pale mango tree. You understand? More than 8 mango. We talk about still got long mango, still got kidney mango, tea mango, seed mango. What you saying? So what about moi? Eh? Me try my best. Eh? Me try my best,
Yo,
my brethren. You
but
understand?
no, seriously. But Bankie, so this is where there is seriously a lapse in truly understanding what is absolutely necessary to truly generate some serious funds out of the agricultural sector in the sense of seeking to zoom in on value added and using the value added as an opportunity to create revenue from things that you might not well in some cases
Watch it.
they are cultivated, but in some cases like the
Watch
mango
it.
where it's not cultivated. Yes, I.
Let me show you something. You see Indian Castle is where that was created because all the passion fruit, all these we call the gooseberries and stuff like that, they make syrup and Four Seasons and Rams them by the cases. The market is there, my virgin, but it's different. Management. Me not ask you, they can't keep up. It's thousands and thousands of syrup that they make, and Rams them by the cases can't keep up. They make sure to tell you. They make mango syrup, tamarind syrup. You understand? Sour sap syrup. You name it. In a them buckle like the rum buckle. So
So
these things are
Bankie,
there already. They will invented already. put the,
So
but I'm trying to show you,
we know
it's
that
not new.
if we know that there is such demand, why aren't there serious focus on ensuring that we
Ask
have
the
a
minister,
consistency of
ask
these
the
raw
cabinet, ask the
materials?
cabinet, ask the cabinet, you ask the wrong person. The problem is management. It's always management. That's all it is, my virgin. It's always management. And then the minister, you see, micromanage. These are simple things, virgin. You understand? Even people in Trinidad don't want full mango if you go get them export to them. You see what I
You
mean?
must be
Because people
reading,
contact me from Trinidad.
you must be reading the
The,
comment that the person just put here, because the person just said, a
which
person just put in the
is
comment here,
reality.
ask the Guyanese and Trinidadians how to utilize the mango from green to ripe. Right?
Yes.
I mean, and this is what I'm talking about, like value added, and we're only talking about one crop so far, you know. We're only talking about one crop. We're just talking
Golden
about
apples,
mango.
sour sap, everything.
Yes,
Everything.
we
Is
don't
it,
talk
everything
about
goes through
golden
the same
apple, we
thing?
don't talk about source up.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying, right? We were just talking about mango, and we're talking about all of these value added products that could be created from this one crop that at this point is not even cultivated. It's not even really
You have to
seriously
remember,
under
you
any.
know, all these things will fall under the 2030 agenda, and which was moved to that from 2025 because it's all about value added part also for food security. But the brain cells not see these things. You see, that's all it is. Actually, we have this supposed to be festive season, and asking the people on island and ask the minister how much tours they did over at the Case Bay Orchard. All right, ask him. Not one. And they're gonna say agriculture boom and all these things. It's just talk, my virgin. It's just talk. If something is not tangible, and is not feasible, you know, it's just all in your head and just lying willfully. You see? Cause watch out this. All the popsicles you're talking about and Iceland, they do all that at agro processing. All that they do, all the type of smoothies and stuff like that, they do them for children in the popsicle farm and stuff like that. They make mango jelly, mango jam, just like guava jelly, guava jam. They do all these different stuff there. Well, me can't say about now, you know. Me know when the farmer manager was there. These are things I used to, you understand, buy and send as gifts for people overseas. To recommend these, would call, ask for these things. When people traveling, send a few mango jams and guava jelly or guava cheese and stuff like that, because they do use what a lot of products. They used to have it shows over nearly I don't know the exact number, but there's a lot of products they have, more than 30 for sure. I don't know about now what how the place is, but I know a lot of grumbling and all kind of different stuff going on there. It's not working, you see.
But what I'm saying, Banky, what I'm looking at is I am not even, I wasn't even thinking that they don't do these things. What I'm thinking is like the ability to be able to see the connection with agro tourism or agro culture, in the sense of being able to tie a raw material that is being in plenty, in full season, at a time when you're seeking to entertain and bring in visitors and also even returning nationals who look forward to getting these fruits and well, fruits mainly, that they don't necessarily get regularly out there, where they're coming from. And even if they do get them, they don't taste as nice. They're not as organic. They're not as, you know what I mean, nutritious. And so they look forward to being able to come home, and so that's the kind of thinking that I'm looking to see, that marriage, and that is just how I was, you know, I am looking at it.
Of course. Culture, Culturama. How was your Culturama, Yahsonn? Went 20 shows.
No, actually, I
You enjoy
didn't.
you enjoy the decoration of the streets and the street lights and all the banners and the poles and decoration and all them. How you enjoy the what you call it, the
To
aesthetics?
be, to be honest with you, I did not get to do anything for Culturama. I was kind of focused on doing some um, what you would call it now, resuscitation to a project that
Yes.
I'm working on, and a half acre there that really needed some TLC. And as you talk about these mango trees, um, some of the slips and pots and all that needed some TLC and weeding out and all that and getting the place to look kind of way aesthetically still too, because with this same mango thing, I were able to have a couple of functions like some mango buffet and so on, where I invited people to come and just be able to eat as much mangoes as they can, because there's so much, right, Banky, that I just wanted to
Yes.
give people an opportunity to come out and look around to and see, and hear of some of the plans that I, want to be able to put in that space, kind of eco-friendly lounge and chill spot. There's a sea ocean view and the mountain view.
Yes, I.
Very, very
Yes.
nice, location. So I'm spending a lot of time really, getting it together. So I really didn't go because a lot of the activities that I tried
Of
to
course.
put together still kind of had me have to be there personally to make sure that when somebody do pop in, that I can really give them a little tour and take them around and show them what's going on, and if I need to pick a couple of skinny pie, if I need to pick a couple of coconut, if I need to pick a sauce up, what I mean, we do that and get them to share and experience um, some of the foods, because like I'm saying, there were returning nationals who, for example, I remember there was a villager of mine who she came, but her children would have never tasted the soursop. So they wanted to
Hmm.
be able to at least soursop so that they could at least give them to show them this is what the soursop is and how it tastes and things like that. So sometimes for us, we take those things for granted, because like, hey, well, everybody knows also, everybody know this, everybody know that, because we're from here. But what we fail to realize to some extent, especially where the visitors are concerned, a lot of them do not necessarily have that close relationship with the farm. Their connection to
Yes.
food is more from a supermarket perspective. So they are sometimes very much thrilled when they actually do come on a live farm and see the fruits hanging from the trees, or seeing how they actually connect. I remember when I used to do the farm tour at Kittish Hill, I remember some folks came in and the first time they saw pineapple growing on the tree, they were amazed because they thought that when they think apple, they're thinking of apple growing hanging from a tree. They didn't realize that the
Yes.
pineapple grow from like a grass and a star come out and that's the way it is. So we would laugh at that because we're like,
Yes.
you really, you guys didn't know that, but
Of
um
course.
it really speaks to in reality the ignorance that many do have in terms of connecting the plant to the food, whether it's the eggplant, whether it's the pepper, because some people have never seen a pepper tree, they've never seen an eggplant tree, but we take those things for granted. So giving folks that opportunity to come and see some of the different trees and some of the different fruit trees and experience it and so on, that's something that I'm really working to put together along with the 10,000 fruit tree project. Today, I spent a good bit of time planting out some bread nut and some jackfruit trees and things like that that I'm really looking at. I got to get some sugar apple and a lot of these mango seeds that we have in this season. I'm hoping to plant out a lot of these amripali and CD and whatever it is. We have to really zoom in and seeking to maintain our indigenous seeds and indigenous plants. Our foreparents, a lot of what we are eating from is trees that our grandparents and great grandparents planted. And if we're not careful, they will die out. And if we don't do anything for our part, we would lose a lot of that. So part of my contribution to food security within is within the realms of seeking to plant as many of these indigenous seeds and save as many as well, because we need to focus on seed bank. And so I'm one of the projects I am pushing at this point is the 10,000 fruit tree project. Encouraging folks, you can donate a plant to anyone. You can just invest in it if you don't want to necessarily have a get it for yourself. Oh, we want to really to give everybody as many fruit trees as possible. Allow them to have, we don't want you to think that these things are scarce anymore. You could have your own sugar apple tree. You can have your own soursop. You can have your own, mansiport. You can have your own jackfruit. You can have your own strawberries. You can have your own, and this is what we want. That folks can be able to have all of these and have access to them without having to worry about if they're genetically modified, if any pesticides were sprayed on them and things like that. So that's the meditation. So that's kind of why I have not really been out for the season. So I see a little bit on the social media and so on, but I really did not get a chance to go out for any of the activities.
Well, first let me say congratulations to all those who take part in the carnival, almost the Culturama more or less. Anyone who decide to take part within the Culturama activities, because remember, sinking the Navy squad is tough, When it come to sitting down in front of us, you gotta be a soldier, cause they're tough. And once they love you and they cheer you, you're doing well. You understand? They understand quality, and if you're not doing, they understand when they come out to go to a show, they know what to expect. They're well trained in these things, more or less. Sometimes the judges them don't get it right, or they get it right, but whatever it is, the audience judge too. You see what I mean? And they'll have their views and stuff like that. So I must say, I attended one show, and then which was the Mr. Cool and Swimway. And let me say this. Yahsonn, you know how the complex set up, eh? We know when we go, what we call a show, if a show is well attended, all the concrete seat will be filled, whatever VIP tent they have will be filled, and standing ovation when they come to walk and enter in the gate coming into the complex. People spread the guy down by the big gates. When the car can come out and come run up by the boat, all up on the stand, which by the boat them there, full. If you can't full, none the stage, none the stars them. It show that is poor attendance. Very poor attendance. So somebody have to be accountable for this. And when I didn't went to the Queen show now, and the Queen show was worst. Don't we talk about the which show this the panorama was a little better. You see what I mean? But still, it's supposed to be ram pack cock. Okay? So the whole cultural festival, we don't even include the wet fest, that is different, that they bring over the single crowd and the boat, the party boat and everything. So the single crowd gonna set that the different, big up Wazim and that. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to, just imagine, let me say this. When 869 starts, Sean Rollins opened up 869, his business over in Gingerland outside the Best Buy, the high school there, the gas station, and he do some other additives and stuff like that. When he opened up that, the following year, and he wanted to do some function on Culturama, everything was denied by the Culturama committee, or whoever in charge. I stand to be corrected. They can challenge that. He was told no activity gonna keep while Culturama having an event. Okay. Senior Calypso, well, you had the show with the soca and the groovy, poorly attended again. Then here now you have the Calypso senior competition finals, and waiting they're having a big session down on the beach at a bar with band from Sink It, DJs, waiting the people going. So how would a beach bar get an event to keep at the senior Calypso night, starting 10 o'clock, Calypso still go on, when other people getting denied? What about them people on the beach by this particular bar? When it is known, nobody getting an event and no show night. Not even in the village, you go play Fish could turn on the music in the bullpen or the rose garden, you call it. You understand? So how down on the beach, you got nearly about 5-6 DJs. One of the top band from Nevis. Wait, Calypso show, you count the people on them. So, what happened here? You see? That's a problem. How this happened. And then parade day, which is today. What? I say one troop, I'm only called 4 season troop. I'm not calling nobody else, so only one troop. Who wants to say 3 troop or 4 troop or even give them 5 troop? Me say one troop 4-season troop, you understand? Kiddies, little troop that they no count, JD troop no count, that they're little that they make up. Because it just pop out of the box. That was supposed to happen anyway. You understand? One troop there was, that what me call it. Okay? 4-season troop, they don't tell me that 4-season gonna take over the whole road and do what they want, because they alone. Because they don't boast about that. Okay? Juve morning, me head and me farm. Band from Sink It coming from Malcolm Gishard Park. Well, up your Sink It people in that day again, because you don't know new vibes. Waiting to happen, new vibes. And Smalax, these man from Sink It have the followers in a Virgin. If them they go anyway, the followers will follow them, you know. So if Nevis people don't go behind them, then okay. The followers gonna follow them. That's how die hard they be. You see what I mean? They know how to have fun, they know how to party. You're gonna take a band from Penny's Beach. From Penny's Beach, right? To right there by we call it there, Nico Penny's from Malcolm Richard Park to Penny's Beach Hotel. From day to day, 11 o'clock. And the next hour to Charlestown. So the man mean that they will take the time, shut down the truck in the road and party. Yes. Party. This is what I'm talking about. You see what I mean? Sink It band on the road. The Navy's band them there. I guess X-Ray and whoever else. It's just Sink It band them on the road. Something went wrong some way. You see what I mean? Next area again. What you see the NIA and going back to the premier, you're gonna have to get rid of this particular minister, Minister Eric Evelyn, and take away all his portfolio. And just so when Kennedy Simmons get rid of Michael Powell, you have to get rid of him. If not, you have to get rid of the whole cabinet, because all them agree with this nonsense. You can't come up and blame nobody in a Virgin. Those who are there, I guess they're trying their best, or whatever it is, they just not listen to nobody else, are doing what they want. But it's just too much of failures, pan failures. The Mango Festival, I was hoping that I would have seen the girls and them and the gentlemen and them maddling on the stage and acting something. Not even that. I was told, you understand, the Mango Festival, the Thursday, the Wednesday when they were called to try fit on people on the stage to go model. They don't got a farmer done in place and I got to change the farmer to fit you. You see what I mean? These things are planning months in advance. So how you going to just want to call it the before to bring people on the stage to get model? No. And I'm glad they stood the ground. No, y'all, no, we not work like that. Yeah, I respect that. Good job, well done. Deny them. Music festival went, nothing advertised. Mango Festival advertised on the jumbo screen. You see, you have whole shows going on, bringing Ike, bringing Sugar Bowl, bringing these guys, Pinocchio, Sensei, whoever is going to find in Nevis who are good hosts and stuff like that. Big up the head teacher for Charleston Secondary School, Shanti wife. Sorry, I don't remember her name, Mrs. Paris. Yeah, for hosting the show for Randy. I mean, I heard she did well. Some people going to say otherwise, but overall, I mean, you must give her kudos. Some people say she was a perfect person. You know what I mean? Because she have that personality. So that was cool. But you have to get good. And she's a professional at the same time because she can sing and she comes on for the stage and all the things. So Miss Paris, big up yourself for that. But Yahsonn, we're going to have to revamp the whole Culturama. We have to knock down the whole building because you see, the Culturama to the back of this stage at the main cultural office, state building in the Culturama area. In the AC behind there, you have people, girls and young people in there and young ladies going to show and in there sweating and in a heat box. But it's a sauna. You have to have this place for AC. Not even fans. I myself had to go and get fan from my home to help out a young lady within the show and stuff like that. So, I mean, you can't have these things. Don't have to break down the whole complex, knock out everything from scratch, dig up all the seating and whatever they need to do, knock down the wall along the so give you everything because that area is over nearly 2 acres of land. Both areas combined, which means push this stage or the building way back by the wall by the high school. And then you have the whole area to design how you want. We got too much of brain cells to be acting foolish and mismanaging taxpayers' money. You know, this don't make no sense, my virgin. The place is underused. You have too much land in there wasted. Push, and you just need one stage when done and a rotating stage, as some of we co-fellows here, they'll be reasoning talking about what needed in this time. The rotating stage. So no time is waste, you know what I mean? Bam, boom, boom, boom. Next strike up. Everything just flow. But People don't want to take advice from those who have some ideas. The best ideas are always forward, not because it's not your idea and all these things. You see what I mean? These things are not right. You got to do something different. Plus, when you have people going to these shows, you have to give them proper gifts. You understand? Nobody going to the Queen was to come out with less than $50,000, a piece of land, a car, and the first one up at 40,000. Then you want to get your best minds, your best talents. They send you the Calypso shows. Virgin, if these people don't get so wasting and giving away money to our kind of investors and our kind of people wasting money over project overruns, millions of dollars, they're not giving somebody a 40,000 a piece, a quarter acre and a half acre land is nothing. It's our resources. Soon, I think people getting and we can get in a Culturama, which ain't not bother me. But you're going to show a reflection of the people in Nevis and those who handling the Culturama. You understand? Because I find people in Nevis are go down to enter singing shows on a regular like that. You might find one or two in the Queen show maybe once in a while, but not on a regular. Because it's people being the dominant force within the Culturama. And I must say kudos to them. You see, because we're brothers and sisters. But when we having an event here, you want as much division, but if they not take place and those from Michigan is coming over, you gotta appreciate
But
that.
Banky, in relation to that, right? I think that one of the issues that we have in relation to activities that would stimulate or give our young people an opportunity to have that stage presence and that stage personality. We have lost a lot of that
Yes.
in the sense of, look at Nevis. We don't have Winfest anymore like that. But I think they try to celebrate it, they try to revive it. We don't have Gingerama. We don't have the St. Thomas's Festival. We don't have, like on St. Kitts, you would have even those political parties and pageants and so on. So you find there's a lot more opportunities for young people to get involved and get that stage presence and that stage personality. And so you would find, to me, I mean, it's just an observation that I'm making, and I'm thinking that maybe if there is more opportunities for even school pageants and so on, and different things that would give them that more exposure, you would find they would be more open to want to get into the bigger stages, because I think just those initial exposures. If you look at our history and St. Kitts and and Nevis, a lot of the persons who then went on to become the Calypsonians came out of the junior Calypso shows.
Yes.
Those who went on to become queens and so on, took part in the school pageants and so on, and then would have decided, okay, well, I was bold enough to do that, and let me take it to another level and so on. So it shows that it is important for us to seek to have more of those functions and activities, and maybe that would be helpful. And I guess the same argument is made on the band side of things as well. I hear people argue and say that the bands should create opportunities for themselves, and I do think a lot of our local bands do that, because we would hear from time to time the bands them playing with unseen kids or traveling to Anguilla or some other Caribbean island. Or in some cases, our bands travel overseas. You would hear Odyssey and Poor and all of these bands sometimes in England or in Canada or in different parts of the world. But they need to have more opportunities for them to do more road jams, more street jams, and so on. To just wait until Culturama and Juve Morning or whatever, when they didn't even get much opportunities to do. A long time ago they had village jams and so on, jams leading up to Culturama. So you'd have gone in Cotton Ground, or you would have gone in the different villages and so on, and
Yes.
people get an opportunity to hear the songs them and get certain chants and so on, and maybe build the little crew and so, okay, say, yeah, man, okay, we rolling with this band here, we rolling with this band here, and, so I, those are some of the things that I would think need to really be looked at and assessed, so that we could begin to see and get a bit more involvement. Because when you have some of those little street jams and so, if you have a little road clash up with, maybe let's say it's two bands and so on, then they begin to get that experience of how to handle themselves when clashing on the road and so on. Because all of it is a man will tell you, there's a big difference with doing it on the road like that or doing it on a stage or, performing, for, I mean, even it's a live event. It's still different when you're doing the clash on the road and the road jam session. So
Yeah,
that's
next thing will have to happen, Yahsonn. Once Juve Manning seemed to be shutting down before, way back, let's say go back 20 years plus, 25 years. Juve Manning used to go down till after 3, 4, even on into the evening sometime, because you don't want to shut down. You can't have vendors in town packed up, and then you just have them there for 3 hours and shut them down 12 o'clock. You don't even have a set or a band there in the heart of town when you have people on the island. Who want to stay in town, stay in town. Then you have a next band down on the beach, on a stage. Who want lay on the beach, lay on the beach. Who want go to this Herbert beach, whatever it is, go over there. You can't tell people where to go. You can't tell people to go be virgin. Then you get out of this mind frame where you're shutting down an event in town where a vendor's got 3 hours to make a money. How they gonna make money? You see what I mean? They need as much time as possible to keep the crowd there and stop shutting down an event. Then you have no decoration, no lights in and between swinging from pole to pole in the town to leading up to the village. So well, buy the place look festive. No flags flying nowhere. Nothing. Maybe the place remain the same. Nothing. Independence coming up. You gonna see them wrap up and a post with the flag color and something. So what the difference be? Or hold them a fool. We ain't independent. We can't even feed ourselves. So that gonna be a sham. We just had the first emancipation gone, you see, and you see what the minister who is in charge of Culturama and the whole cabinet put up a set of tent, go down there by the Christina disaster and had a charade, but the same tent they gave away the Hamilton Mill. You see? So who fooling who? The failing in the culture, who fooling who? Is agriculture people died on that boat when coming up from selling their stuff to Sinkage in 1970. They forget. So they now respect those in the agricultural sector. It's basket, the amount of basket you hear the stories floating, or they forget. They need to pay reparation. You see, that's what they need to do.
I was just about to get to that point because I'm saying to go down there every year and say, oh, you're trying to commemorate and so on,
Yes.
especially from the minister's perspective, and this is both federal and national, island. When they know that the case in point would be either neglect in terms of responsibility of, let's say, the captain, but the captain would have been working for the government because I think the ferry was the government ferry. And so whether it is the local government or the federal government or the monarchy, the British government is responsible for the catastrophe that took place in terms of their vessel and what we experienced. So why isn't there that argument for them to seek to, as you're talking about the reparation, seek to challenge whoever it is, bring whatever legal action or whatever it is, so that these people could get a proper compensation? Because we do have some of these people still alive today, I mean, that had that experience, and some of their relatives are still alive. So what would be to me more meaningful? And some of these guys are legal luminaries. Some of these big people who are in these political positions and so on could do something in terms of, if they want to, instead of just going and saying that, oh, we're commemorating, do something about seeking to ensure that those, I mean, imagine a boat was supposed to carry 150 people, end up sink with 300 and something people, more than double what you're supposed to. And you want to tell me nobody should be responsible, no government, and it's a government ferry, with a federal, British government, crown government, whatever the case may be.
All governments have failed us. All government, NRP, CCM continue to fail us. PAM, Labour, Unity, all government. have failed us. Okay? All. These guys don't care. It's two mass grave. They have the one in Singers and one in Navis, Mass grave. Nobody getting a proper burial. And they're looking respect from who? Who they want respect from?
All
When the evidence is there, what they're doing to us.
wow.
Huh? Well, you know, to mass grave. One up in
No,
the botanical and one in St. Kitts by the next burying ground in Basti. Oh, you don't know that?
no.
Oh. You know, Yahsonn, we got to hold our people accountable, our leaders, and we got to get rid of all of them. They have failed us, they continue to con us, and people have been awakened. We have a call coming in, Yahsonn. Let me accept this call here.
Yeah.
Carl, good evening. Welcome to the topics.
Yeah, hello?
Yes.
Yeah, good evening to you guys, man.
Yes, good evening.
Yeah, I just really want to commend the band them for being on here tonight. You know, a lot of people are still out, doing their thing, celebrating, while Bankie and Yahsonn is at it. So real big up to you guys, man.
Give thanks. Appreciate that.
Yeah, the Christina disaster, this was a tragedy that happened locally. And we know how much umpteen years ago this happened. And we still haven't came to any full closure on this event.
Yes.
And, I first want to say some type of condolences and respect to the people that had perished. And I want to say a special blessings to my uncle, Livingston Sargent, the great cricketer, and to my cousin, Lofton Sargent. These were two family, and to all the rest survivors. Sorry, don't let me leave that out. To all the rest survivors as well. Those two persons, my uncle and my cousin, were two survivors from my family. And I'm just going to say, I heard so much stories about this Christina disaster, man. It really touched to home. And one part of what I really wanted to say is, I don't know if this is true, but I've heard this from our elders in my family. My uncle in particular, Livingston Sergeant. The Wade, I know you guys know the Wade family over in Govabad. Those are some guys who are fishermen, and they were partaking in the rescue effort that evening of that tragedy, right? And I've heard some stories that there's a lot of stories that's out there. Yes, stories can't die. But something that hit me in particular is that my uncle Livingston, the Wade brothers was out in the ocean picking up people, and they went past Livingston. And as they saw him, someone on the boat, the fishing boat for the Wade brothers, recognized him, and he was struggling. He was struggling already. And one of the guys on the boat said, "Man, come on, that's Livingston Sergeant, doing a great cricketer. We cannot leave him behind." And then man turned back and picked up Livingston. And I'm telling you, man, to hear a story like that and many of the other stories.
Yes.
You know, my cousin Laughter, he was also picked up in the ocean and was dropped off on the Cliff Dwellers boat. Cliff Dwellers had a boat that used to go back and forth, picking up passengers from sinkers, bring them over to Nevis to the Cliff Dwellers hotel.
Okay.
So Laughton, my cousin said, only when he was dropped off on that boat, he realized Livingston was actually on Christina that day.
Wow.
And when he got onto the Cliff Dwellers boat, he met Livingston there. Livingston was rescued before he was. So when he got dropped off on the Cliff Dwellers boat, the fishing boats was picking up people, dropping them to the Cliff Dwellers boat and going back in the ocean to pick up more people as much as they can. But to hear those stories, man, it really hit home. And we know we don't want to talk about this. We don't want to talk about this, man.
Yep.
I don't know why. We don't want to talk about bringing this event to a closure. All the young kids, them especially, that had to live without their parents who was perished on that boat. To this day, you want to tell me any one of these governments never thought about giving compensation to all these little children that was coming up during that time? You know, and there's a guy named Punton. He used to work on the Caribbean Queen. I later found out Punton was actually he's the son of the captain of the Christina.
Yes.
So I asked him sometime he's living in New Jersey, and I was able to interact with him personally. And when I come to realize he's the son of the Punton captain that went down in Christina, I got a personal to him and I asked him, yo, how was it back then when your father went down in Christina? When I found out that was his dad, he said, man, as a family, he saw his mother cry for many days, and he don't believe personally that their family was taken care of adequately. So there's a lot of testaments out there, and it doesn't matter who we want to point the finger to in terms of a blame, but that was a boat that was owned by the government, and up to this day, I don't believe that the governments took responsibility of that event. And we need closure. And my advice to all of the remaining survivors, they should get together and bring a class action suit against whichever government they need to bring some closure to this event. And Bankie, I want to be agreeing with you tonight for what you have said thus far. And the governments from then until now has really failed these people. And I'm going to leave that there. And the only other thing I want to contribute is there's some clips that's being circulated that the U.S. government is thinking about taking action against all the CBI Islands citizens, whether it's maybe citizens who have gained the citizenship to the CBI or the other citizens. They are saying that they're going to maybe think about implementing an additional fee. I think it's concerning when people are applying for visas. I think they might be hiking it up, or some type of bond fee that they are thinking about implementing. Might be like $5,000, anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000. So, like a lot of persons may be affected with the U.S. immigration policy going forward more than we are thinking. America per se, who's thinking about doing this thus far, we don't know if Europe or the European Union may follow suit. And we don't know if the U.S. government will implement this, but I've seen clips already from here that they're thinking about implementing that. So undoubtedly, they're not gonna stop coming after that CBI program. So our leaders in the Caribbean, it's time to start thinking about linking up with Africa for real. They have to start thinking about that, because when we've seen how America and Israel is doing those Palestinians and the Gaza Strip, they're starving those people out there to death. And another thing is, they are thinking about overtaking the Gaza region. And if we in St. Kitts and Nevis do not get self-sufficient in food, and when America and these other big countries, when they drop down the hammer on us, we're just going to stay in our small space and starve. We are seeing them doing this. You should be seeing the vivid pictures coming up from the Gaza Strip. You think they can't do us like that in St. Kitts and Nevis and the Caribbean? We got to get real, man. The politicians, from the moment when independence or before, they all have failed us. Time for independence to come forward. The next election is probably approaching within 2 years or less. Or when the Prime Minister decides to ring the bell, we need persons to start coming up and standing up for this country. Independence. The party politics is killing the place. And I'll leave it there for now, man. Thanks a lot.
All right, caller. Give thanks. Appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah, Yahsonn?
Yeah, the caller, he really made some critical points. He really touched on some personal experiences with folks who would have experienced the Christina disaster, and personal experiences with family members and others, and it was really a touching time. And the fact that up to this point, no government has sought to seek to come up with a compensation package, a compensation plan, or if they feel it's the British government who was responsible at the time or whatever, put the challenge to them and let them invest in it. But like I said, with all these luminaries and legal minds that we have, some even at this point boasting that a theme of comma has been changed in the constitution. So you find that it is really interesting that these guys can really be top legal minds for cases that they want to or that may be personal to them for their personal benefit. But when it comes to doing things that is going to benefit the entire nation, you really have to wonder. So these are some of the things that we look at. The caller spoke to a number of very interesting topics, and I really want to give thanks for his contribution.
Yahsonn, want to big up Black Circles Symphony. I'm representing them tonight. Big up Carlisle Paris and his band out there in New Jersey. Got to big him up. I mean, doing great things. Is our culture.
No prospect
yes,
king.
You know what I'm saying? So just want to know. Feel proud wearing this shirt. Continuing the cultural tradition. Also big up Bingie who is here. So everything just fall in line perfectly. But definitely, Yahsonn. So the people want the minister and the whole cabinet, along with the Culturama committee, to answer to how when you have the senior calypso competition, how you have Abaddon on the beach, Chills Bar, having a big event with nearly 5 Navy staff DJs and bands from Sink It, and the night of the Calypso show. Calypso show now done 10 o'clock, but the event down at the beach will start 9, 10 o'clock. Gone down till nearly morning, carry the beach now shut down. You see what I mean? And the Calypso show not gonna body. So how to blame for these things when 869 was not given? No, nobody else was given anything to keep any event and the night, except one particular person on the beach. So what going on there? So your Culturama show is poorly attended. You see, poorly attended. Don't talk about the parade. So to grade Culturama, how you gonna grade it? The food fair, I was there past through early for 12 o'clock, which is not early. So I figure, well, nobody there really talk about it, only the vendors them there. I come back after 6. Let me say, big up the tourism department and the Mango Festival, because the crew for the Mango Festival make Culturama look shame and look terrible. You understand? But when they talk about, so, it was a beautiful this and beautiful that, lies again. When you hear the minister of the mouth, it's just lies they talking. So nobody listen. Not the minister said, make your own comparison. Because he gonna just talk and talk crap. You see? Yeah, you gonna smell all the fumes when he talking. All the fumes, you gonna smell the fumes over the radio. Anyway, it's just fumes. Pure crap. You see what I mean? Because who there could say the Mango Festival, Virgin? I don't tell the tourism department next year to have at least 75 to 10,000 people, because the event is well promoted. It already have set its standard. So ain't no excuse for these things. When Sink It Carnival keeping okay who in power, Virgin, Carnival is top notch at all times. So how we live is these things is not consistency. You see? These are the issues we're having. Then you have some homecoming. Those who have some homecoming and enter these things and get a little. Let me show you something. If there's one, I was raised in a house by Doreen Tyson. When you leave the house with the belly full. Don't get excited over people's food, so nobody could poison off you. Leave people things alone. When you leave in the house going anywhere, make sure your belly full. And my children them have that instill in them. When you go out, food is supposed to excite you, my virgin. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's supposed to fool you and want to invite you to lunch and all these things like me as a lady. Me and the man invite me to the lunch. Me go buy my own lunch. You understand? No, it's like me tell that man I came shopping. I'm going to take you shopping. Take who shopping? No, sir. You see what I mean? Then I go work. No, madness. This is our problem. You see? No, these are serious things. Because you can't have cultural food fair keeping and you have Mango Festival have more attendance than this. This is our festive season. You see what I mean? This is our festive season. These things are supposed to happen. You understand? And look at this. The same night of the mango the food fair is the same night of the 5-in-1 with Wazim. All right, but Wazim not smart, very, very wise. He always bring over the Sinkit people. Because if you depend on the Navy's people, he don't know what's gonna happen. Because that is, I gotta big up the Sinkit people, let me know. Not big up yourself for always coming over and make the Culturama lively. You allow, and they should pay the people from Sinkit to come over too. No, the other token. No, Virgin. You have to pay these people deserve a gift. You see? Because it's them have made this Culturama over the years for what it is. They have really handedly take over Culturama this year. In the shows and the road, everything. Yeah. I over all my farm in a Virgin. And I up to the road, and all the buses are parked. And a pure SK people coming from over by the water taxi. Full, straight. All the I say, what? Bike man. Bikes and bikes and bikes and bikes. Full, straight. So you got to big up SK people, my Virgin. You have to give kudos to those who come out and support care. Without them, Navy's Culturama ain't nothing. If Navy people don't go down to sink it not make no difference. Telling you that. Because the SK people them inside the banner jam. You see?
You got Larry Wharton here saying, that's true, Bankie. My father is Tyson, and he drilled that in us. Natural Mystic saying, if a local business wanted to keep a function, it could have been a DC Core Ultimate. They would have never given them a permit. I don't have anything against expat businesses, but local get too much. I guess they want to just stress or whatever.
But this is the senior Calypso show in the Virgin. The senior Calypso show. And you're going to give somebody an event to keep a fringe event. That they never happened before, ever.
Sorry, the person continued saying, given too much obstacles for locals to do business in our country. So
look at this. You give expatriate, I always say, as we're talking in the Bantu language, the Wazunga or the Wazungu, which means foreigner, or the white man, or it could be an Indian man, foreigner. You give them to have a fringe event, and you see in your Calypso night, so which must be one of the biggest events that everybody want to go support Calypso. Nobody went. They can't talk about it. Nobody went. You see? Same thing, they give away the Hamilton Sugar Mill in emancipation time. This thing going on, building don't build, them a fence we in. So we can't go in there no more. We can't go walk on, take picture and put on gate, lock me out. You see what I mean? When we supposed to just walk in there as my custom doing, so we're going on, no, $20 they want to charge me and then sip wine and eat cheese. So only those who feel like they're up there and knock that, because I don't want no wine, I don't eat no cheese, you know about the things there. So then, we should have a problem with that. Then it still go over in the Akan language. You understand? A brony, which mean foreigner again. But in this, what I mean in Ghana, it mean they have the heart of a 2-year-old. Well, me have 2-year-old before, and they not just take. But these days, it's a take. The same people, the Hamilton Sugar Mill, and the same minister in charge of agriculture and culture, give them 6 acres of land up in Hamilton Mountain. There's farmers up there, so who land was measured up to give them this land in the name. They can't get nothing, but the department give them land in the name. You see? 6 acres. And now towards the ministry and the cabinet give them to because they were part of it. And the Conservation Society. So we're dragging everybody into it. Even the legal advisor and the whole cabinet, everybody in on this thing, yeah. And they give them the Hamilton Sugar Mill. So I want you two, because you have a lot of homework, to go by check out the Hamilton Sugar Mill, check out the agro-processing unit and the instruments them up there, and Indian Castle, so you can give your perspective and your views on these things, because these are the reality. So I reach to a point, I don't want to hear none of these parties, whether it's CCM, Labour, and I mean, I hear from none of them, my brethren, because these going to affect us down the road, When it's the Navy's, it affects sinking people too, you see, because we are the natives, and our people are just so lavishing for money and glutton for money. They're willing to come up and do anything, give away all our resources, for a buck, for 2 silver. You see? That's what's going on. So tonight end our festive season. So big up 4 season and the only troop for Culturama. You understand? Top over the road and stuff like that.
As you talk about that, I see some information here in terms of the street activities results. It says folklore winner, David's Dynasty, the Big Drum Masquerade, and they got 466 points. Float winner, Queen Bee of the Strings, they got 477 points. First runner up, Different Culture, One People, 474 points. That was close, only by 3 points. Fantasy, the winner for the fantasy section, Julie Mango, Four Seasons Resort, and they won by 500 and they won with 557 points. And the first runner-up, Anastasia Revelers, got 424 points. Road March, Decider, unavailable.
You know what the troop? You know what the troop them?
Yeah.
You know?
So Four Seasons. Yeah, that was it. That's basically it.
That was
and
it?
Then the Road March winner is Decider, the Franklin Cider. With
yeah, man, big up because yeah, man, wicked. Big up Frankie. You know what I mean?
And I mean, it was interesting that he got first runner-up also for I think it's Groovy Soca, and he also placed in the Calypso show.
Yes.
Well, so I must give thanks to his being a first timer and being able to place himself there. Should be a sort of motivation for him to come back next year and hope to take that spot. So give thanks to all those who would have patronized and be a part of that event. We had a queen. That's what history in the making as well too. Or we would have had queens before. I'm not sure if we had Queen Calypso. Remember?
A queen. Natalie. That's my cousin again. Charles Overback there. Javi, Kennedy, sister. Natalie.
Yeah, no. What I was saying, I don't that's history in the making.
Of course, definitely history the first time, yes.
Have you ever had a queen before for Calypso?
Not in Navy.
No,
I don't think so.
Okay, so that's another thing. And
maybe I stand to be corrected. I want to think I want to stand corrected. Somebody about I think at that place.
Well, I know a long time ago. What's your name there? Singing Mildred. But that would have been before they had before they started Culturama. Probably would have been back when they had the carnival and so on. But it was interesting also that Bath got the soca or is it Groovy with Rukodan father and son combination. That is wonderful. That was a good energy there again. And so, I mean, I am really proud of all those who would have, participated. And we give thanks and look forward to, next year again,
Yes, on Indian Castle, the neglect of Indian Castle, Fuchi Orchard. I mean, there are a lot of people who went down there when they were here for the festive season and want to know what's going on down there, if this is a willful act or something for the minister to live in an environment and not going on down there and acting blind and putting his best friend down there. Then they don't have to come back because the people want answers. Even people in Hanley's Road telling me they reached out to the minister, and those who support the minister went down there and come back up and it shows shame that if they open and speak, then they would be looked down and they could be jeopardized when it comes to being victimized and stuff like that for speaking out the truth. Well, I'm just telling you how people feel, my brethren. Me ask me to tell you what they say, They're free to tell, and even if your minister tell you, if I know that is why you're stopping me for the time about Indian Castle, now stop or answer my phone. He's a funny guy. You see, he's a real funny guy. You understand? Because you are feel you causing these things, and the sad thing about it, the premier can't talk, Jeffers can't talk, Try can't talk, Brand can't talk, nobody in the could talk, and all of them benefited after the success of Indian Castle. So why all them silent? They used to call my name even all in the dream. Well, how come they not call this manager name 24/7? Well, how they not calling him all in the house? They not calling Indian Castle and the success. How come they not do that? What is the difference? What this place don't exist? This is the next acre. Huh?
As you talk about success, what is the progress on the Tabasco project side and the Nibi side?
There's none. I took only 7 row. I took of peppers had survived, over in Caves Bay. The picture them we see only how it look, only 7 trees there and all the trees them dead, and them dead in the cast not even went off. So don't feel like, because you understand? And that was just done by the farmer PS, you understand, and put pressure upon them so they could come out and talk. You understand? Put a Tabasco pepper there and take a picture of the tree close up. All that sham. There's nothing
So,
we're talking about.
Bankie,
Nothing.
Bankie. So then that means when
Alive.
if and when the Tabasco project will roll out and sink its, then Nibi shouldn't be a part of it.
What we need to hear
Really
about this,
try.
Before this project come out, I need to know exactly what is the coming about this project here. You understand? From where and that's how we're supposed to be, because I was the technical person and travel with the delegate. So how it was, from my understanding, what was supposed agreement was when I was a part of the delegate, and that happening now is a whole total revamp of what's going on, where they want to process the peppers. First, the agreement was meet with the farmers and have an agreement with the pricing they're going to buy the pepper for. You must have consultation. You can't just come and tell me, oh, this one, no, it's like you hire me to buy this one, pay to put on the tile to do the sheet rock. You know, work so you can't tell me you pay me. Me tell you how you work. Otherwise, you can give somebody else where you pay them, but you not plant one pepper, and then they will give you the seeds, so you can use the seeds and give it away and all the thing, because it's for them. It's just, you see what I mean? So if you're not gonna sit with the farmers here on the island and work with the price, you're gonna have the peppers them for. Well, who gonna go them? Mission now go none. And then if you're gonna go process the pepper and make them into a mash, it mean the Tabasco company gonna have to show you their recipe, how to go about mashing, doing the mash process, which means you have to build a processing unit. You see what I mean? To process this stuff with machineries and all these things and employ people. So what I mean, you're putting more money, taxes, expensive pandy tax back to the taxpayers, and then you have to go ship out these things. Regine, you see, to preserve this thing, you have to add salt in it, To preserve this, people don't mash it. You got to put on salt. So when you're gonna bring in salt, like a how we call it there, buy salt from who? This you bring in salt like a cement. So they need to come. So therefore,
Maybe they plan to reactivate the salt pond.
See, this is a light moment for you. You make joke right now. We talk serious thing. You make joke over this thing here. This is a serious thing. You crack light moment. You understand? So the minister of agriculture in St. Kitts and Nevis, along with the prime minister and the PM and the premier, need to come speak to the people about this Tabasco SARS project. You think if you want to say 300 acres of land, well, you got your 300 acres of pepper, who I'm going to pepper there? Who? When? How? No water in the hillside now. If you're gonna grow peppers in a sense that you mean you have to be precise, you have to have irrigation and all the different stuff. It's a standard.
Right.
So nobody's talking about these things. It's like you're talking about geothermal the same way. You don't know how much you're gonna cost and when it's gonna done, but you want to entertain the conversation. I'm gonna entertain the kind of conversation, my veg. And give me figures on how this thing gonna work out and give me all the logistics. I not waste my time here talking to me. We shut down because you're just canning me. Because none of them, imagine you hear the premier say, when somebody asks him, what will be the sharing agreement between geothermal? Well, caller, we haven't discussed that as yet. I say, what a man. What a man. Eh? The prime minister gonna say the geothermal is a federal entity now. But when you just get the man, you turn it over, but no bargain. You hear the premier says so. We discuss that as yet. I mean, we're gonna have to sit and negotiate and work out the maths and or something. Really? The man right in front of your face. So you see what I'm trying to show you? The man hide to can you. Madness. Anybody is working in the institution, the bank don't even look upon them, except Christopher Harbour going to give them $1,600 million. Even though they fail, just give them some money, man. Yeah. But us now is a different situation. You see? So we really got to come better than this and get rid of all these. You see, I realize I don't see some big man a ball, And so, Lord, if CCM lose, me business got shut down. Oh, really? So your business only goes to survive the CCM? Okay. So which means you'll do anything and suck up to survive under. So you see what I'm talking about? They only go survive under a certain party. So there will any means necessary, whatever they need to do, bend over, lift up the foot, do what they got to do for them to stay in there. These are how people speak around here. Grown man, willing to drop them jars, do whatever they have to do. Then okay. These are what we have to be dealing with in our environment. And that is this sad story. So come down to all these. This is what we get for Culturama because of party politics. You see? And you're going to hear these people who go down Indian castle every day and so are going on down there. They come and they end up and reach on the farm and say, we went somewhere and we went and one again. They don't know them talk to the person who designed the farm, who developed the same farm. But you see what I mean? So we say, listen them. So you can't make up these things. Then I say, what are you talking about? Then I say, okay, yeah, I know what you mean. And then I say, yeah, I was there. I say, you do it? Tal, we'll have to hire you back. So hire me back. I said, no, man, the minister don't like me. The minister, I mean, I hook up the minister and hook up the minister back, You understand? So that never happen. Pride and embarrassment. Yahsonn, money is always available for on a professional level, That's all it is. Money is always available for consulting, whatever. Indian castle can be fixed. If they want it to be fixed, I'm available. You see what I mean? No problem. Second phase could be done. You are an island. It could be done. That is easy thing. There are people. I have a team. It could, this not the same. Everything is in my head, my virgin. Them they simple minor matters. The evidence is there, You can't even maintain one, and you're gonna come on the radio in the House of Assembly in December and say, in the first quarter, next lie again, second phase is gonna start. Next lie again, And then the going down with the town hall meeting in your own village, in your own community center, and lie to Bijan Hanley and tell Bijan Hanley, your information is incorrect. You understand? For the last open day, there's lots of stuff coming out of Indian cast for the agricultural open day. Well, show the facts, number, Jane. Show the evidence. Let the director at the PS take out the information. Everything in agriculture got to be weighed and register. That is what and you see, and next thing again, just to show you nothing about agriculture, he gonna say he got over 5,000 coconut trees planted down there. Will he plant them? Is he plant them down there? He and the manager plant them down there since he got 5,000 trees. 5,500 trees was planted. Okay? I single-handedly pick out 1,000 and send them to St. Kitts. I had to beg Ron Collins to take the trees and then beg him because Zook was the minister down there. And if Nevis are moving the project, St. Kitts should move forward same way. Send them the best trees, them that is over 6 inches. That started to Germany, because not then come, started popping out. And I keep them the smaller than the pinky finger. They let them dead, all the trees them dead, virgin. The trees them go taller than me, and they let them sit down there dead. Can't make up these things here, dead. You see, I could have kept them on Nevis, I still, the department still sold over 1,000 plus trees to the general public. Minister not about them things here. He can't talk. But he gonna just talk. We can hear the premier talk about 5,000 trees. Madness. Just a repeat like on call. We regurgitate stuff and don't even have no facts. I can speak because I'm the technical person who do the work. Somebody could tell me nothing when me say in fact. The evidence is there. Everything is recorded. I know who I sell trees to and all and something. You understand? Who don't buy trees? Trees are being and a pick. You see, these are the situation. So when minister gonna come and say over 5,000 trees planted down there, tell him count them. And when you reach 5,000, stop. You check? I could say I know how much trees is done because I still bought local coconut trees. So get the big nut for sugar cake and pastries and stuff like that, and still bought some of the local varieties, the yellow one from different people throughout the island. But you can't come and say you got 5,000 plus trees planted down there and he know that ain't the truth. So how much lie what am I gonna tell to my brethren? Just lies after lies after lies, and then you're still gonna have a couple of hundred that died because they never germinated. You see what I mean? So which means those who send the coconut would have some couple of hundreds for the department because that's just what it is. The next project phase 2 already put in place. We would get 10,000 source of trees from Grenada, 5,000 in St. Nevis and 5,000 sent to St. Kitts, and then get the next 10,000 or 15,000 coconut trees. Plant out the next phase 2 with coconut and soursop, and then sell the rest to the general public. That's how you do things. And encourage you to develop more orchard and stuff and the source of trees. Grenada already went ready to buy back the same soursop from the department. Source of trees, some of the source will also go to some of the farmers and backyard people throughout the community because them too would have been a part of the process to make a money. Everything that I did is to involve the general public, to be benefit from these things. So there's people who's calling me every day over and over through the island. They will have coconut trees to sell. They have mango trees to sell. Have this. Nearly Indian Castle, more than 90 people benefited. A lot of people benefited from down there. You understand? Lots of people, businesses, jeep lines. They will tell you, those who sell jeep lines and all, they'll tell you, boy, demand no single out nobody. Demand that's how you supposed to carry at the people resources. That's how you run a project. That's how I run project. Those who had work on the first project, well, the office stayed in the back line cars. The second project would have been a different set of people. That's the way it is. Can they go on the first project? And that's how you do things. You see? But the minister, the whole cabinet just have to go. You understand? It reached to a point when these people talking, me just turn deaf. Because it just feces me a smell. All over the radio, me go smell the feces. Because that's just reality. The radio just tell pure lies. Lies upon lies. And those with him, and then you're going to hear some people telling people, oh, well, you all need to be a part of this, and be a part of what? Be a part of what? People are not benefiting right now. When the farmers are not benefiting out of agriculture, my virgin, I hear the cry every day. Every day, farmers crying. Here in Nevis, you see? They're not getting no help. The poultry project with the land there, they're not land there. They're not even they have access to the land. So how are you going to convince people to take up an investment to go into poultry when you don't even know secure the feed? The feed is the most important part, and the medicine, because poultry is a very sensitive area. You see, my main concern about this poultry thing is the feces. How they're going to control these feces. You see, it's all good to speak and talk when people don't understand how the logistic works, my virgin. But I would tell you, most of you who are listening, if you have this poultry farm, a lot of you would stop eating egg. You understand how the probable condition some of these birds are in, and a lot of these things. You see, people selling you things when they went everywhere in the car and a jeep, but you now see how the condition, how these birds are, and the cleanliness of these things. You see, people gotta be wise. Whatever you eat, visit people farms. Visit, ask them to visit, shop. Just shop so you can see for yourself. Anybody go shop at my farm, it doesn't matter to me. Yes, sir, we have a next caller coming in here again, so we take this call. Caller, good evening. Welcome to the Topiks.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I decided to come back in, man. I have something else I wanted to say, really. It's based off of my observation from out here looking back in at the Federation. And what I'm seeing, man, is the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, they're too laid back. And I'm just going to go over onto the Nevis side where I'm from. To listen to you guys all these years and to see the effort and the work that you have put into Indian Castle, and the Minister of Agriculture and the government of the day just sit there and watch all of your work and your labor go down in vain, and to let that Indian Castle fall down like a drunken soldier, man. I'm going to really say it here tonight, and I'm going to agree with you. Those persons responsible, they actually need to be fired. They need to be fired. You know, they went in Parliament in Sinkis, gave themselves a big fat raise. They came back to the local government in Nevis, and local parliament in Nevis, and gave themselves another raise again. And when they had a lot of chatter about performance and the job matters, now it doesn't seem like performance and the job matters to them.
Yes.
Nevis people got to wake up, man. I don't see anyhow the next election cycles go down, federal and local, and the people them don't stand up and make the changes. I'm just gonna be sorry for my islands, man. It's gonna get worse. To see what you're talking about happening up at the Hamilton Estate, you know, in the Sinkis Nevis Federation, you want to tell me it's only foreigners that can come in with the empty briefcases and take over our lands? That we were lucky to get control of coming out of slavery. We just celebrated another Emancipation Day. I didn't even see a real African celebration, a real slave celebration. All I seen is the walk up and the nakedness in the street and the gyrating. We have lost our way as Africans, man. Believe it. And to listen to y'all, man, we see Indian Castle was a failure now after you left. And it's a takeover by foreigners up at the Hamilton Estate. We've seen foreigners taking over Crystal Harbor and the marina in Sinkis. So if we don't wake up and hold our politicians accountable, the oligarchs is going to move right in slowly. It's already happening right in front of our eyes. Nevis and Sinkis is small, not big like the islands like Cuba, Puerto Rico, Jamaica, Trinidad. We are so tiny compared to the West Caribbean islands. You think it's difficult to really take over Sinkis and Nevis? It's not. It's easy to take over Sinkis and Nevis. And we are just concerned on the ground about pulling each other down and all the negativities towards each other. We don't support each other. And they have people on the ground, they call themselves workers, like tradesmen especially. They are not professional. You got a lot of lazy people in the Federation of Sinkis and Nevis. They don't want to work. It appears to me like Sinkis and Nevis need a strong arm on them. People are not even obeying the rules and regulations. Judicial system is in a mess. The Ras Sankofa got a victory, so-called victory in a case about your Rastafarian rights and the right to your religious practices and stuff, and with the marijuana situation, but it doesn't seem like that was a victory. All the Rastaman in the Federation need to unite, and they should have hold them responsible after they got that victory in the court. Put a monetary figure under that victory, and sue the hell out the governments of the day. Make them pay. Class action suit against them and violating your rights. If the Rastaman them had did that, you would have seen a different situation right now. They come out of that case and you all lapse back and relax. There was supposed to be a monetary judgment attached to that victory. Sankofa need to reel and come again, and all the Rastaman in the Federation need to really put their support behind this man.
Yes,
and we've seen our rights are being violated, and we got to stand up, man. You know, Nike has a motto, just do it. Man, Burkina Faso, look at what the man did in 3 years over there. Man, we had all that CBI money, and all them man keep that money, bro. Them man klepto them that money, man. That money, that CBI money, it was so much money poured into past there, but the average man on the ground don't even understand. But we don't really care. The young people them don't really care. And the young people them, they need encouragement. They can make a difference in their own country. The lawyers on them on the ground, they're so corrupted. Think this Christina disaster couldn't have been solved long time? All those lawyers on the ground, they will never come up against the government. All their man is corrupted. The whole place is corrupted. I'm not scared to say it. Sinkis and Nevis is the most corrupted place, especially in the Western Hemisphere, based on size. You think Jamaica corrupted? Jamaica way bigger than us, population way bigger than us. But to see what's going on in Sinkis Nevis, bro, it's a shame. And that's my piece, man. I'll leave it there.
Carl, I appreciate. Thanks for your comments and your contribution to the show. Yahsonn?
Yeah, couple of critical points. The caller weighed in on was very passionate, and we always want to welcome the callers and want to welcome you to be as forceful and as passionate as possible, and also as respectful as possible. And we want to thank all those who make their comments on the Facebook wall or the YouTube wall. Enough dread, say greetings. Okay, that's the only new comment that I see. Okay, somebody just have been saying this for years. Okay, yeah, Bankie. There are, one of the things that I find is that even though we are seeing a lot of these things and we are speaking a lot of these things, as you mentioned, people see and know that these things are happening. They're not speaking up, and even in terms of in the actions when necessary, like whether it is marching, protesting, and or making that X in the direction that would affect those who they are claiming not doing X or not doing Y and not representing and all that. But at the end of the day, we see something totally opposite, and so sometimes I really have to question the genuineness of the complaints of some of these people if at the end of the day they still don't do much to change the situation. And that's another situation that I have a little bit of issue with, and not issues per se with the government and government officials. And the reason why I don't necessarily have much issues with them at this point is because we the people are allowing them to sit back and not take any actions. And I guess part of this comment is sparked by the fact that the caller would have just mentioned the Sankofa case. And in relation to the Sankofa case spoke to religious or spiritual use of cannabis and personal use or private space, using cannabis in your personal or private space. And those two areas of cannabis were the two major areas of the Sankofa case. That's the two major areas that caused the government to actually go into the house and take certain necessary actions. And those two areas are the two areas that are being totally ignored right now by the government. So you have medicinal cannabis has been placed under the Ministry of Agriculture, and the government has gone full speed ahead in terms of seeking to push this industry and put it on the road because they can see how they can benefit in terms of the revenue generation from the various taxes that they're putting in place. However, in relation to the two major areas that are critical to the average individuals and the average citizens and St. Kitts and Nevis, and as a matter of fact, the two areas that the Sankofa case addressed, they have been placed under the Ministry of Ecclesiastic Affairs, which happens to be the Minister, the Honorable Jeffrey Hanley. And we have never heard the Honorable Jeffrey Hanley speak anything about cannabis. So here is
the Minister
that...
Nevis? What about the Minister Nevis? Did he speak anything?
Well, hold on. So that is where I was getting now. Here you have a minister who is responsible for the two major areas of cannabis that is critical to the average citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis. And he has, if you go to try to get a license from his ministry, nothing is in place. Now, on the Nevis end, even on the medicinal cannabis side, the Minister of Agriculture has never said anything in relation to cannabis, have never done anything in relation to cannabis. And in relation to the Ministry of Ecclesiastic Affairs, it is only a federal ministry. So at this point, I am not certain if, and if there is, I don't know who or what arm is responsible for the Ministry of Ecclesiastic Affairs and Nevis. So which means for those areas in relation to Nevis, Nevisians may have to go to St. Kitts to get your 5 trees license and your 56-gram license and your license for lounges and so on. We don't know, and we are not hearing anything at all from any sector in Nevis. And that is why I'm saying that I take issue with my people, because my people are sitting back and allowing these ministers to be paid because these things are being placed on their portfolio. It has now become a part of their job. And technically, well, we can't say technically, blatantly, they are robbing the people blindly because they're being paid to address certain issues that they are opting to do absolutely nothing in regards to. So, Mr. Evelyn, I am going to be putting up my hands here. If it's help you need in relation to cannabis, I am putting up my hand. I'm willing to help you. I am open for a meeting. I am open for working with you in if you need a PR or if you're afraid to talk about it, you don't want to talk about it, you want somebody to talk about it, you can contract me. We can work it out. I am willing to be that front person to really seek to do what you should do. And I am very much not so much just interested in the medicinal cannabis side. I am going to be trying to find out from you which ministry or which arm is going to be attached to the Ministry of Ecclesiastic Affairs. And I can be that person. So I'm putting up my hands because something needs to be done. And I am going to be seeking to find out where we are. And so I would really love for us to have that opportunity to really take some steps forward in Nevis. Now, people in Nevis, you guys, you can't just be meeting Bankie and telling Bankie this happening and that happening. You all have to be able to come together and speak out, even if you all need to decide to protest. Go up to the minister office and find out what's going on. We ain't talking of violence, we're just talking, you peacefully go and try to find out what is going on. If you need to petition, put together a petition, get, maybe 1,000 names, 2,000 names, 3,000 names, 4,000 names, and get them to see that
people are ready to sign these things. So if you can organize these things and where people are willing to sign these things.
Okay, well, we need to have these numbers.
People are willing to sign these things.
Okay, so I'll take that as my additional homework activity to seek to get a petition together for the cannabis, the way for all the cannabis and Nevis. But people, we have to do this. Then you'll have to sign up. You can't just talk. You'll have to sign up. If you're afraid to at least petition go physically, because some people might feel like they may be victimized, you know what I mean, and all these things. And so
the people victimized, we protest, we march in front of the office. They see us every day in front of the office. And the victimized, we stand as one. Once you stand as one, and you come in with that meditation, then that they're going to see, no, they can't win us. You see, they see us morning, noon, and night. We're waiting on them. We organize ourselves properly. All about organizing, Once there's enough people, some people working hours is different. You ask the people there, even if you have a dozen people in front of their face every day, you see what I mean? That is good. You get attention.
Bankie, I have not heard any outcry, and I've heard, for example, the minister, and in case the minister responsible for ecclesiastic affairs, I've heard him on several platforms and so on. I've never really heard anybody question him in relation to that specific question, in relation to why, we are not hearing anything from him in regards to these two very, very, very crucial areas that are in benefit of the average individuals. Because when we really take a proper look at the medicinal side of cannabis, it is not necessarily designed too much for the benefit of the average citizen per se. It's the major big players out there and the taxes that they could generate from it that they're very much interested in. Because even the small man, how it is set up, the amount of licenses that the small man would have to go through, because he gonna need the license to grow. If you want to process it, he's gonna get that license to process. If you want to transport it from wherever he going it to where he gonna process it, you gotta get another license again. And all of these licenses when you add up is a lot of different money. And maybe I ain't even started to talk license yet. You might still got other licenses where you go down to the different types of things that you're going to process and how they're going to be processed and all of these different things. So the reality is the two areas that are more critical to average individuals, the the recreational or personal use and the spiritual or religious use of cannabis, which are the two areas that Sankofa took the government to court on and was victorious on. And so I don't understand why we, the masses, are allowing the government to sort of hijack the cannabis industry and hijack us along this medicinal cannabis story, when in reality what we went to court for wasn't no medical cannabis. Sankofa didn't take them to court on a case with no medical cannabis. And so I am just, hopeful that our people can begin to, seriously agitate and ask these questions, and especially on Nevis, where nothing at all is being done. Why are the people who are Nevis who are involved in the cannabis industry and who are interested in getting involved? And I'm not talking smokers. Remember I said in the cannabis industry, because we're talking agro-processors, we're talking developers. There are a lot of kind of products. There are a lot of things that people can and want to do with the plant, but it's still reluctant because they're not sure. And because of that insecurity, the whole industry is on a pause. And then you could have had people who are going, not even for smoking, but just going to be able to supply some of these product developers who now have products that are on higher demand and no need, they themselves, don't have the time to grow. They have to focus on processing and manufacturing and all that, and mass producing and all that. So there's so many different areas. We have the textile industry where you can make clothes and shoes and belts and sheets and towels and all of these things. You have the oil industry where, alternative fuel is being made from the cannabis plant. Ethanol is used in making vehicles. They're making batteries, dry cell batteries from the hemp. And so, you got the seeds, you got the nutritional side where, hemp is very high in protein and many other minerals such as and valuable oils such as the omega-3 and omega-6 oils that we seek to get from fish. People, need to realize that you can get that from hemp or cannabis, and you can also get it from purslane or puzzle that we take for granted that going around here on the island. But these are different ways of looking at cannabis from a different perspective. There's hempcrete, which is now one of the big things right now in the construction industry in terms of carbon footprints and all of these eco-friendly ways of building and constructing and so on. These are things that we can look into and seriously, expose ourselves to. Hemp alternative plastic, hemp alternative containers, so all of these styrofoam containers and so on that we have in issues with the single ban and so on. There's alternatives that are available. But Bankie, we really need to do a lot in terms of seeking to re-engineer the minds of the youth, re-engineer the minds of those who are in some of these positions. But to some extent, there's a saying, it's hard to really bend the old trees and so on, they will break. So that is why we got to focus on that youth population, that young electorate, those between 18 and 35, so to speak, and seek to get them to start to rethink and question certain things so that they can do some further research and come back and get more involved in what is going on. So that, as you were pointing out, that the need for for us to move away from the regular, red and blue and orange and yellow and so concept, and really begin to look at individual people who are coming and presenting themselves and see what these alternatives are being presented. So we're getting closer to that time where we make an exodus for today. So I mean, and any last pointers that you want to drop in? You on pause. You mic on pause.
Let me just say, someone was asking me, what is the reason for the license for anything to do with cannabis? My thing is money. And remember, ain't everybody gonna get a license. It's just a few handful of license gonna be issued. So all who think they're gonna go open up lounge and this and that, you're gonna be vetted. Them man don't know who don't get license to. So all who got their glory up and their hopes up, like you're gonna get license, like you're gonna get a liquor license now. You're gonna have a garage. I sell shoes. I sell clothes. I have a little bar. No say you're gonna walk. This thing gonna work so. Only a handful of license. You hear Miss J Knight say so. So we cannot leave out this part here. Cause everybody got a head full up in their head how this gonna no we not gonna work so. You see? So much, oh, why don't you all join together? But if you join together, you understand? Give people the license to do the thing. Stop mess with people's head. And come with one language when I insert nonsense that. You see? This is stupidness. You go to New York, you see, the herb is free up, virgin. You understand? Free up the herb. Well, alcohol free up. Look how much people consume alcohol over this carnival weekend and day. Huh?
Yeah,
in the hospital.
Yeah, the Culturama. How come we only had a 420 friendly space and so, like how music festival had for 420 space and accommodation. What y'all lapsing? What y'all didn't even protest and ask for that? You might go and pause.
You had that. Rum was the high. Get high off of rum. That's the high you're getting. Alcohol is the 420. That's the 420 for navies. You see Topiks that come up this Saturday or Sunday, whenever day be, rum. Yeah. Rum gonna be the high. You're gonna get high, get drunk, act the fool, and come out. That's what we embrace. Rum. Because you drink rum in the church, wine. So they can't talk about rum. You see? That's what they embrace when you're brethren. You see, they embrace spirits. Get drunk, act the fool, then they destroy all the organs, and then you go to the doctor and say, well, all these things happen to you. When they know all these things. I remember I asked the custom officer, well, why don't you all stop and this alcohol thing? He said, you're mad? Well, we're not going to make no money. The government going on brooks because the taxes is what come out for alcohol. Look how we all the duty free shop with alcohol. Alcohol is the number one selling thing going in a virgin. You think a herb? A rum. You see that rum selling more rum?
So Bankie, as we're wrapping up, right? And you see, this is one of the things that I've been saying. And this is part of what is being used as, like back in Romance time, the bread and the circus. So we're supposed to be celebrating emancipation. We're supposed to be celebrating our freedom, and we're supposed to be educating our youths about the struggles, the things that we would have been through to get us to where we are. But instead, those who are at the helm, who are seeking to continue the bread and circus, is pushing us to drink rum and walk up yourself and have a good time and then come back to the plantation the next day. Because remember, after the holiday, back to work on the plantation, So don't take no time to talk about emancipation and come together and educate yourself to segregate yourself from those who are keeping you in bondage and so. Then no one you get that kind of education there. So drink some rum, party, walk up yourself, chat chopping, walk naked and all kind of distractions, as Gigi would say, right? And then come back go work tomorrow. Don't stop wasting no time with talk about you celebrate oh well, they had us working on the plantation, and then even after you got free, you had to work for 4 extra years. And then when you got your freedom, you got no money. You have to find money for yourself. No, we don't want you here. All of them things. Them things they're gonna cause you to turn your mind against the system, and they're gonna make you want to say, well, why? And then people who we got to vote, who we vote for. upholding that system there. Not. So then I want you to think along them lines there. So work up, drink rum, you know what I mean? That's the emancipation. We ain't want to hear nothing about no tell the children them things there. So people, you know, it's been another wonderful edition of the topics. We do hope that you fully full joyed this edition, even though we know that, you know, many of you might have been all out in your, you know, the parade and all that and full join the festivities. Give thanks to Bankie to be able to give a little synopsis and give his view and opinion on, you know, the festivities and the different activities. And I want everybody to realize that, you know, when we do come here, even though we critique, it's all about, you know, seeking to improve and make things better. So we want to see better. So don't get all up in your feelings like some of you all do and get all personal and take it personal. You know, we want to see better for the country. So when we critique and we talk about these things, we just want you to just say, hey, but, you know, maybe I never really look at it so, and let me try to do something better. Don't bother get all up in your feelings. If you do it, it ain't really bother us, you know, but, you know, we just letting you know that we're not really doing this for you to get all up in your feelings and get emotional and our personal and all that. It's just about we want to see better. And so people, enough love Bankie. I want to say give thanks for coming through and really being a part. I want to say give thanks to all of the Real Entertainment Network crew and those who, you know, who work tirelessly and endlessly behind the scenes. I want to give thanks to all those who log in and make it a business to log in. I want to thank you for subscribing to the YouTube platform. And remember to go over there, subscribe, like, and share it. You know, everybody who's on tonight, encourage somebody to share it. Enough love, everybody. Guidance and Detection, Ira and the team. Take it away.
Shame on me, I really thought that it could work. Off with somebody else, off with the loser. Shame on me, I really thought we had a. Lately I be having conversations with myself cause I feel like I have nobody to talk to. I be having conversations with myself cause I feel like I have nobody to turn to. Everything was green light, now we got the red. Could've had somebody else, chose you instead. I be having conversations with myself cause I feel like I have nobody to talk to. Everything was green light, now we got the red. Could've had somebody else, chose you.